But I want to talk to you about holiday parties and what the main deciding factor is, like if you're going to have a hard time or not, okay? A lot of people don't talk about this, and I think this is very important. It's probably 95% correct, okay? Except for my last example, of course, but 95% correct. When it comes to holiday parties and corporate events in general, and you know, in relation to dancing and how good the party's going to be, it all depends on spouses. Are the spouses there or not? This should be a question you should ask. Always, always, always. Are spouses invited? Will spouses be there? This makes a very, very big difference. Very big difference. And it'll let you know what you're pretty much in for. Unless, for example, everyone's getting bussed there and it's like a 5-hour open bar with an after party and just a complete shit show. Unless that happens, okay? Why I say spouses. If spouses are there, the parties are a lot different. They're not as good sometimes, okay? Spouses being there adds a whole nother element, okay? Instead of just, you know, hanging out with all your work buddies and letting loose and whatever, well, everyone has their spouse there. So it's like, okay, she has to be introduced. Maybe she doesn't know a lot of people. There's that awkwardness. You can't leave her alone because she doesn't know anybody there. She only knows you or maybe your boss or a couple of your close work friends, and that's it. So it gets really cliquey with spouses there. It's only, you know, people that have their spouses tend to hang out with other people that they know personally, and that's it. So it's super kind of cliquey. It's not like all together. You know, people get, you know, if their spouse is there, they might not get as drunk, maybe. You know, there's so many little factors with the spouse being there. If the spouses aren't invited and it's a strict company party with no spouses whatsoever, it's typically a better party. Just because they let loose. The spouse isn't there. They're all together. Everyone knows each other as a whole. If it's like a, you know, small, medium-sized company, obviously, you know, there's no absolutes, okay? But I'm just saying, generally speaking, everybody knows each other. So now everyone will dance because everybody kind of knows each other. You know what I mean? It gets awkward with dancing when nobody knows each other. When it's like cliquey, when only, oh, these people here know each other and these people here know each other. And, you know, they're all kind of hanging, you know, like that's the biggest factor. You know, if you know that spouses aren't invited and it's going to be 100% work party, then you have a really good chance of like having a great party and getting them to throw down and let loose and everything. Cause it's like a work field trip for them. You know what I mean? Like they don't get to hang out a lot of times, especially the entire company as a whole. You don't get to hang out with the entire company outside of work usually, you know, and this is something that, you know, you get to drink and, you know, hang out. There's no responsibilities, nothing, you know, it's just picture yourself if you worked for a company or if you know, when you were in school and did a field trip, that sort of thing, right? Outside of school, you're all hanging out. It's like, oh my God, it's like fun, like same concept. But the spouses come, it could put a wrench into the whole thing, you know? Now, a couple things to think about with spouses. If the spouses are there, another reason why I ask is I'll play slow songs, right? I will play a slow song or two if spouses are there because everyone's going to have someone to dance with. If there's no spouses, I play no slow songs. No point. It's awkward, right? That's just awkward. You're literally starting things off on an awkward foot. You just go right into dancing at that point. Good thing with holiday parties, you want to get dancing started is that group photo trick that a lot of us do, right? I rarely do it at weddings, but for holiday parties, I think it's a great idea, especially if they have a photographer, because you get a group shot of the whole, you know, everyone at the holiday, everybody at the company and everything, and then you just drop a banger and you keep it pushing. Everyone dance. I did this past weekend. It worked out great. They had a photographer there, and yeah, you know, so you basically gather everybody up. They do the group photo, and then hands up, and then you just drop a banger, and then go, and then keep mixing. No slow songs, okay? Don't make it awkward. You play a slow song, they're going to look, do we, like, none of our spouses are here, and you'll have a couple goofy people dancing with each other that, you know, are unlikely couples or whatever, but, like, you know, just keep that in mind, okay? But always ask that question before you do holiday parties. I think it's really, really important question to ask. Let you know what you're in for, let you know what you can play, everything else. You know, and if the spouses are there, you just got to work a little extra harder. Every song matters, even during dinner. Get people to vibe. Get people to drink a little more. If they drink a little more, they're going to loosen up, and then you're going to have a little better success later on when you try and get them to dance. So.